Hi friends, happy Thursday. Welcome back to your mini lesson for today. Today for your mini lesson, we're going to continue hitting those same learning targets to continue training our brains as readers. And those learning targets say, I can identify that story elements are the characters, setting, problem, and solution in a story. Those four things together make up story elements. And we'll look at our puzzle that we've been looking at to help us practice to know that. Our next one says, I can identify the story elements in a fictional text. So we'll take another look quickly at our book, The Enormous Watermelon. All right, so let's go over our story elements. Can you guys say those two words with me? Story elements. Can you sing it with me? Story elements. Can you say it in a lion voice with me? Story elements. Very good. Story elements are so important for us as readers because it makes the story very interesting. We read the story of The Enormous Watermelon the other day, and there were different characters introduced throughout the story. If this story was just, there's a lady that planted a seed, a watermelon grew, and she couldn't get it off the vine, the end. We'd be like, okay, well, she had a problem, but then what happened? So all of these things make a story exciting and fun. So let's sing our song to help us remember what the characters are. Ready? A character's who's in the story. A character's who's in the story. A character's who's in the story. A character is who. So a character can be a person, a thing, or an animal. And in our stories of the gingerbread man, we've seen that the cookie is a thing, but there are also some people in it that are characters too, as well as some animals. In The Enormous Watermelon, we just have people that are the characters, right? And then also, I guess Humpty Dumpty would be a thing because he's like an egg. But the characters are who's in the story. What is the setting? Let's sing our song to help us remember. The setting is when and where. The setting is when and where. The setting is when and where a story takes place. Very good. So not only when the story takes place, winter, spring, summer, fall, morning, night, but also where it takes place. On a farm, at a house, in a fire truck. Okay? So the setting is important to our story. Then there's always a problem that the characters have. That's what makes it adventurous and exciting. As readers, we're like, ooh, what's the problem? What's the character gonna do? So we think about those details. And then the character comes up with, I got a solution. I'm gonna try this. And does the solution always work? Maybe not. In the story of the original gingerbread man, what happens to the cookie? He gets eaten, right? So the gingerbread man's solution that he tried to have by running away didn't necessarily work out for him. So this is what keeps our brains thinking about that story and makes it fun and adventurous. So let's take another look at our Enormous Watermelon book. But first, we are going to do our secret password. So get out your packet for today, turn to the back of your checklist, and let's get ready for a new shape and a new popcorn word or sight word. All right, are you ready? Today's password. The first shape that we are going to draw, or first is the shape we're going to draw, and it is a four-sided shape. It's called a rhombus. Can you guys say that word with me? Rhombus. Very good. And our rhombus looks like what you might know as a diamond. So we're going to do a slanty line, a slanty line, a slanty line, and another slanty line. So it has four sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. And next to it, we're going to write the sight word goes. She goes to school. The bird goes home. Very good job today with your secret password. Make sure to keep watching so that we can keep learning about reading. All right, so let's take a look at The Enormous Watermelon again. What do we call this part of the book? The spine of the book. Just like you have a spine down the middle of your back that holds your bones together, we have a spine of the book that holds the pages together. What do we call this part of the book? The back cover. What does it tell us as a reader? The story is over. What is this part of the book called? The front cover. What is on the front cover of a book? The title. It tells us where to begin the story, And also the title gives us a clue as a reader what the story or the book is going to be about. What always matches the title? The picture. What is another name for picture? Illustration. Very good. Who is the person that writes the words? The author. Who is the person that draws the pictures? The illustrator. And what do we call this page right here? This is a tricky one for a lot of friends. This is called the title page. The title page has the title on it, but a lot of times it has a different picture clue on it than what's on the front cover. So let's look at the enormous watermelon. Again, we're not going to reread the words, but we're going to talk about the story, what happens at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So at the beginning of our story, we had old Mother Hubbard, who did what to a seed? She planted it. And what kind of a seed was it? A watermelon seed. Now, as we read our story, we see some special words. Some words that are in red, some words that are dark, dark black. Okay? These red words are what Old Mother Hubbard says. And they're very important to the story because she's trying to tell it to grow, and it won't. These black words are important because, again, the story is about a watermelon growing. So that tells us as a reader, ooh, that must be important, okay? And then the watermelon grew, and what was the word they used to describe how big it was? It's called the enormous watermelon. It's a big one, okay? And then she tries to pull it off the vine, but is she able to do it by herself? No, she pulls and pulls and pulls and is not able to. And as a reader, I see that pulling, that word pulled, is important because it's dark and black and she can't get it off the vine. So that's pretty important to the problem of the story. So who comes along? Who's the next character? Humpty Dumpty. And Humpty Dumpty tries to help her. And are they able to pull, 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 pull? No. Woo, goodness. They can't get that off the vine. So again, those words pulled are bold. As a reader, I see they tried to pull again and still can't get it. And the word not is big and bold because they're saying they can't get it. It will not happen. So then along comes Little Miss Muffet, our next character, and she tries to help out. And is she able to? No. They can't get it with just the three of them. And they keep pulling, and there's that word not again. They cannot get it to pull off. So along comes another character, two characters actually, Jack and Jill. And all of the characters work together to pull, 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 pull. I don't see any dark black words on this page. But on the next page, I see pulled, and that word not all in bold black again. So that tells me, whew, that's important because these characters still have the same problem. They cannot pull it off the vine. So then they have Wee Willie Winky come and help them too. And all of them work together as a team. And their solution is to pull each other to pull it off the vine. And did that work? Sure did. All they needed was Wee Willie Winky, and he helped them pull it up. Notice how the words go up on this page. Normally when we read from left to right and top to bottom. But the author, the person who wrote the book, was really creative and made the words go up as the watermelon came up. So that's showing me as a reader. That's pretty important that the watermelon did that. And then at the end of the story, they pull the watermelon to the kitchen, and what do? They enjoy their watermelon. Can you guys enjoy your pretend watermelon? So tasty. Raise the roof if you like watermelon. Very good. So this story helped us as readers to understand our story elements, the characters, setting, problem, and solution in a story. Great job today, friends. I'll see you tomorrow for your next mini lesson.